This video is specifically for the class of 2023 in regards to planning your 9th grade schedule. The counselors for the incoming 9th grade class will be meeting with the current 8th graders on Thursday, January 17th during their visit to the high school. This is an overview of the presentation that we will be covering with them. We wanted to make sure this information got to their parents and guardians as well so that everyone was on the exact same page. The two counselors for the class of 2023 at the high school are Mrs. Brenner and Mrs. Rose. Mrs. Brenner works with students with the last names A through K. Mrs. Rose works with students with last names L through Z. So first we're going to talk to the current 8th graders about graduation requirements. Our goal at this conversation is to simply give a general overview. We really don't want students to worry too much about this yet. For students that want to look and create an entire 4-year plan, this is what they want to use while they consider their options. But we're pretty much going to simply tell students that this is what they will need to meet over their 4 years of high school to earn the graduation requirements, but that it is the job of the counselors to work with them to make sure that they're meeting these requirements. In addition to graduation requirements, the state of Ohio requires end of course exams and students to score a total of 18 points on these end of course exams. You'll also hear to them referred to as AIR tests. Some students might take some AIR tests in junior high, those that might be in algebra already or perhaps geometry. For a typical student, this might be the general timeline in which they might take these tests. Each of the tests, a student earns a raw score, and then that score is converted to points. So, how do students choose their classes? The first thing is the general timeline and overview. A letter was mailed home roughly the week of we returned from break, so January 7th, that included this general information. So academic fair is Thursday, January 17th, starts at 6 p.m. There is a brief conversation with the principal, and then the academic fair where students and parents can walk around. Each subject area will have a different table with teachers available. You are welcome and encouraged to ask questions, learn about different electives. There will also be an academic or activity fair where many of our clubs and sports will be available to answer questions as well and give out information. We are going to encourage students to read our course planner. That is our catalog of courses, which includes every course we offer at the high school and their descriptions. It also includes a lot of other information about scheduling, graduation requirements, and so on. The next step will be Teacher Recommendation Day. This is the same date for current high school students and junior high students. It will be on Wednesday, January 30th. So how this works is that on Teacher Recommendation Day, students will receive what we call a course selector during first bell. And then they're going to take that to every one of their classes. They follow their normal schedule, and each one of their teachers will take the course selector and recommend a course or courses for next school year. Those teachers will initial on those selectors, and at the end of the day, their 7th bell teacher will collect one copy and the student will receive the other. That copy is for them to take home and share with family. We are going to suggest that every student take a picture of their course selector. These do get lost. And on every course selector, there is a username and password that is very random. It is not the same username and password that students use to log into their Chromebook or Blackboard. It will be very specific to scheduling. So we do encourage students to take a picture simply so that they have another location where their course selector can be found. So after teacher recommendation day, what happens next? So we are going to tell students to share their recommendations with their family, discuss the options, see what they are recommended for. They will not be recommended for all the electives that they could take, so we encourage them to take a look at the options and see what interests them. They can mark up that course selector, they can make their own notes, they can write down a sample plan for the next couple years or next 4 years. They can do all kinds of things. Then we would like them, once they have reached a decision on what classes they would ideally like to take, we want them to go online and enter their courses, their requested courses online. They can do that right after recommendation day all the way up through February 10th. But we would like to have every student have their courses in online by February 10th, because this will streamline the process when Mrs. Brenner and Mrs. Rose come down to the junior high to meet with students individually. It is perfectly okay if a student isn't certain what they want to take or they have some final questions. We would just like them to get their classes in online so that we can be more streamlined in our process. So, a sample schedule, every student is going to take an English class, a math class, a science class, and a social studies class. Many may take a global language. If not, then electives. Many more will take some sort of music or additional electives. Almost every 9th grade student will take Foundations of Fitness. The only ones who do not take the traditional Foundation of Fitness class will be the ones that take the blended option, which meets before school twice a week, and the rest of it is online. So that is one of the required classes that everyone should have in their schedule in some format. So how to go into the online scheduling system to put in their classes. Instructions will be mailed home the week before recommendation day, so that way everyone has that same information ready to go. We will have all of our instructions online as well, but students can go to the online scheduling website listed here, use the username and password located on their course selector, and then enter in their classes. They're looking for 7 courses each semester. They are picking their entire year's worth of classes. So for, one bell, if they want to take a semester class, they should pick a second semester class to work on the opposite semester. So for example, if they're going to take Foundations of Fitness, that's only 1 semester, they would need to pick another course, let's say Foundations of Art, for example, to work opposite that class. So 7 courses each semester. They can take a study hall, so they can pick 6 classes plus a study hall, and we do require that 4 of their 7 classes each semester must be an academic class. And an academic class includes English, math, science, social studies, or global language. We will encourage all students to be thoughtful in their selection of courses, to think about the summer assignments, which can all be found on the high school website, and to think about balance. We want students to be challenged, but not overly so. We also don't want a schedule to be too easy. So we want every student to find a good balance of academics where they are challenged, but not too much, while they can also participate in other activities at the school and outside of school. So the week of February 11th, Mrs. Rose and Mrs. Brenner will be down at the junior high, and we will meet with students individually in the media center. So social studies classes will come down to the media center, and then every student will one-on-one meet with their specific counselor to check their classes, make sure things match up with teacher recommendations, discuss any questions that the students might have about their selections or other options that they were thinking about, and it's just a great chance for us to introduce ourselves and get to know each other. This concludes this presentation. If you have any questions about your student's schedule, we encourage students first to speak with their high school counselor the week of February 11th, And then feel free as parents and guardians to contact your student's high school counselor with any additional questions that you might have. Have a great day.